That's a little closer to North Carolina, but I guess we just don't have no coverage rights there. But I bet they can hear us once they go across that border just barely. But guys, I'm trying to buy a little time. I'm looking at 4 minutes and 47 seconds to go here before this episode goes off. And we ain't been on here in a while. 28th, I think, was the last episode we did, and we've got to get used to this 3 nights a week thing. Now, the professor probably won't be with me on many of the MMA podcasts or MMA, especially MMA radio shows, because those are a little more spur of the moment. If we mess up on on a podcast, not one of these, because this one's actually live, but you can always set it on record and go back over and redo it. But that ain't what it's about. It's more fun for us just to sit here and tell you what we think on it and give you 2 sides of the story, because 2 brains are always better than one, especially when it's 2 brains that's got a little bit of sense, which happens to be a rarity at this day and time. I'm not talking about amongst boxers. I'm talking about amongst kids, period, and people, period. Some of the people, there's no reason in the world for this day and time, the technology we got, the proliferation of stuff available is crazy for there to be people still suffering from ignorance. And that's just my point of view, and I get on to my children all the time, all 3 of my little girls, why are you coming here asking me? Don't you have Google on your phone? Yeah, And then they laughed at me when I told my, the woman I'm getting ready to marry, Professor, I said, what is your name, Google? Like this, and Sarah, my middle daughter, looked at me and said, what did you just say, Daddy? I said, I asked her if her name was Google, and that woman looked at me and had red cheeks and said, excuse me? I said, hell, you got everything I've ever been looking for. You're everything I've ever searched for, that's for sure. But, guys, we appreciate it, and we got about 1.5 minutes left here, and we're going to cut on out of here, and we'll see y'all. I'll see y'all in about 25 minutes, actually. Let's see, 109. Actually, I'll see y'all in about 41 minutes, my bad. I got to cut out, and I've had a good time. I've enjoyed it, and getting ready to head in for the night. Professor, I'm sure, is ready to go to bed. And I've got...
Professor won't be going to bed just yet.
Won't be going to bed just yet. I got a couple other topics. I got another show I got to do at 2 a.m.
Yeah, you got a tough one there. I'm normally a night owl. But sometime soon, maybe we can discuss Andre Ward's upcoming fight against...
Sullivan Barrera against Barrera.
It's on March 26th, so there's enough time for it. But
yeah.
Actually, a fairly good fighter. I say that mostly from his amateur record, because the people he's fought as a professional won't really give a true indication. But he's 17-0 with 12 KOs as a pro.
Yeah. Barrera's not a joke. He's not a pushover guy.
No, but I think that there's one thing that he does that will give Ward an edge that he'll learn, and that is that he pushes his right. Watch him.
Listen, if there is any flaw in their game,
and I think that will be countered by a left.
Yeah, if they have
see if you think the same thing.
I'm gonna check him out. I'll check everybody. I check it all out. I watch 8 or 9 fights a day minimum, all fights. I watch a lot of fights over and over and over and over and over. All right, I'm down to 47 seconds. Over and over and over and rescored. Like I said, the Leonard Hagler fight, I've watched it 50-something times now, and I've scored it every time with the first one. And Hagler, Leonard won the fight. He stole the fight. Let me rephrase that. Hagler won the fight as far as who dominated the majority of the action, who was the ring general, so on and so forth. But Leonard won by throwing punches and bunches with 15, 25 seconds left in the fight per round.
Yeah, pity Pat at the end of each round. I wouldn't have given it to him. I was disgusted by it. I respect your right to do it differently, but I think to take a great champion's title like that was sickening.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that 100%, Professor. 150%, actually. You do not take Marvelous Marvin Hagler is one of the most underrated boxers. I did say I was going to name underrated boxers. Is one of the most underrated boxers in the game today. Just not in the game. I'm talking about that you hear mentioned today. Period. I mean, you can go all the way back. All the way back. I'm going to give you my 5 most underrated boxers. Hagler at number 5. At number 4, Henry Armstrong, even though he gets a lot of credit, guys. People do not realize how great that man really was. He was a superstar. Number 3 is Charlie Burley. You know what I'm talking about, Professor?
Of course, Charlie Burley, the man nobody wanted to fight, and uncrowned middleweight champion.
That's right. I mean, from Sugar Ray Robinson on down, they want nothing to do with that man. Too damn slick, they said. That was their excuse. He's too slick. Now that's pretty good, ain't it? At number 3, guys, most underrated boxer in my opinion in modern times. Modern times includes all the way from 1955 to
Uh-oh, I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm here. I thought I lost you. I thought I lost you for a minute. I'm here hitting buttons trying to see where I lost Joy in my ear too for a second. Everything went dead. But we're getting ready to load a track, guys, from J24 from 24KJ. I got to get his name right. You're also going to hear Miss Betty Cassell. A little bit of country music on the backside. I don't know if it'll all come through the podcast part, but it's all through the live part. And like I said, we've enjoyed it. Had a hell of a time. We will be back this week. You'll see me next week. I don't know if the professor will be here or not, but I'll be back every day next week, guys. And
yeah, I'm going to go out on the limb and say that Andre Ward is going to blitz Sullivan Barrera, and it will not be competitive. Not even for a little bit.
Okay, bingo. All right, guys, I was going to hold that prediction off. Andre Ward wins the fight. He wins the fight 11 rounds to 1. It'll go the distance now. It can very well go the distance, probably. Ward's not a knockout artist. Ward does have knockout power. He's a finisher. Don't get me wrong, but he's not a one-punch power knockout guy. He has to wear you down. I say that, but he knocked out Chad Dawson. But he wore him down. All right? Ward, every time you clinch with him, he's going to hit you in the ribs. Every time you break, you're going to get a shot in the jaw. You know what I mean? Ward is tactically, arguably, the most skilled man in the sport. That ain't no joke, man. He's the last guy that America's had win a gold medal in 2004. I knew his father pretty good, and his father was an old Irishman. A lot of people don't know he has a white dad, Andre did. And so many people, these damn fanboys, aggravated the hell out of me. The minute that Floyd retired, they become Ward fans. But then when they find out, when I said something, I remember I was in IOTBA still, and your buddy, Correa, I said something to him. I said, you do know Ward's dad's white, right? He said, no, he ain't. He argued with me for 20 minutes about it, Pete.
Oh, no, please tell me he didn't.
Yes, he did. So finally, I sent him a picture. You couldn't hardly, it was a Polaroid. I took a picture of it with my phone and sent it to him. You couldn't hardly tell who it was, you know what I'm saying? But I said, right here, this is me and his dad right here. I said, but you see the little kid right here? And his brother was in the picture with us. Andre wasn't in the picture, but his brother was. Well, they didn't look much different at that day and time, you know what I mean? This was when Ward was fighting, he was at the trials. At the trials in 2003, in December of 03, I was up there scouting fighters. Because, like I said, the first time I ever saw Lomachenko fight was in 07 at Chicago, and I knew right then, I said, this kid's bad. He's the truth. Now, I don't know who's going to work with him or what they're going to teach him, but he's only going to get better, too. He's not going to just fight. I mean, you don't fight. See, they just now recently changed amateur rules back to no headgear like it was when Leonard and them come through. You know what I'm saying? It's back to no headgear, and it's not back. See, when I fought, It was the white part of the glove needed to land. You know what I'm saying? You get a point. So it was also that way when Lomo fought. It was that way when the big bad little G fought.
Little G, huh?
Yeah, big bad little G. Or I'm sorry, little sad big G, whatever you want to call him. It don't matter. I'll just tell him Andre's outside waiting on him. He'll take off running. And let me tell y'all something, guys. That was a joke. If you think Gennady Golovkin's running from anybody, you're out your mind. You're out of your mind. This kid is the truth. The truth. He's the best middleweight. Huh?
Do you think the opinion of Eric Morales matters?
What I consider the opinion, yeah, I would take it. Well, I would take it with a grain of salt, but it depends. It all depends on whether he was drinking or not. You know, Eric had a drinking problem. Was he drinking?
I'm only saying this because he thinks that Khan is not going to go 4 rounds against Canelo. I just thought you'd be interested in hearing that.
They're fighting right now. March 10, Kyle ain't going 4 rounds.
Yeah, he thinks Khan won't go 4 rounds. I don't dare make a prediction like that, but I'm going to stick with 5.
If he went, I went 5. All right, that's what I went was 5. And
I'll tell you why. I don't think it'll happen because obviously Khan needs to be a runner, and what he tries to do is be a boxer, puncher, and he's got this beautiful speed, but not a lot of power. So he tries to fight at middle distance, and every now and then he gets clipped clean. And when that happens, he goes on spaghetti legs against guys like Algieri. So I don't think it'll go 5, but we'll see.
I'm going to tell you what the fight is going to be. It's going to be Canelo wins. Canelo Alvarez wins by TKO. 2 minutes and 14 seconds into round number 3.
You've gotten it down to 3 now?
Yeah, I'm counting 2 minutes and 14 seconds in round number 3. That means he makes it 46 seconds left. Huh?
Now you're saying it'll end faster than I said it would. So I said 5. Eric Morales said 4, and you're saying 3.
Yeah.
If I think about this, I might call 2.
Hey, don't laugh, man. The minute he gets popped, the punch that put Laura on his bicycle puts Khan on the mat for 12 seconds before he even lifts his head up. Huh?
Really, you do not want. I don't want to see this fight. It shouldn't have been done.
It's crazy.
No
Oscar De La Hoya ought to be ashamed of himself. That's just my opinion. He ought to be ashamed of himself because it's in a damn boxing match that nobody in the damn world wants to see. I'm not going to lie to you. Everybody wanted to see Good Boy, wanted to see Golovkin make a good boy out of him. That's what everybody wanted to see. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly.
And he's still going to make, now he's really going to make a good boy out of his ass. You can bet on that. Just as soon as he gets his little Kakistanian ass back to Europe, you know, I'm telling you, he's going to get over in the cold for just a little bit just to get pissed off again. Come back and put on a big drama show for Cinco de Mayo. And it's not going to be pretty for the damn Mexican fans with red hair, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I got news for them.
You know what? I'm really curious to see if you study these guys a little bit further, if you don't start agreeing with me that Ward is going to take Sullivan Barrera out of there.
I watched them spar, 1 4-round fight, 1 6-round fight, and 1 5-round fight, and I have seen, out of 15 rounds, I have not seen him win 2 rounds yet.
Well, he's won 17 of his bull fights. He has 12 knockouts.
I know, Ray.
But what I'm saying is, don't look at that. Look at what you really judge a fight by. I think you call it your eye test.
That's what I'm talking about.
Take a look at what he does